Hey there, everybody. I am Debbie Crowley from ExpressivelyDeb.com, and welcome. Today's video is my May 2024 customer card class. The card kits, for those that have placed orders with me up until today is May 15th, they've already gone out, so I will get the link to this video to you right away in your email, so be watching for that. I'm going to go ahead and create the two cards I have pictured here. I used the Unbounded Beauty Designer Series paper. Yes, I believe it's the Unbounded Beauty Designer Series paper. It is. And which is one of the new part of one of the new suites in the 2024 to 2025 annual catalog, new Stampin' Up catalog. And I used the Flowers of Beauty dies for the embellishment layer that we have, the focal point embellishment layer that is die cut. So your kits include everything you need to put these cards together as I have designed them. If you want to add or delete, that's entirely up to you. You will also receive the PDF tutorial that has all of the measurements for the cards that we're doing today. I always choose the simple card, as you know, a simple card, and then one that's a little bit fancier. So we're going to start today with the simple card because it is nice and easy. And I'll just show you. It'll take us a couple of minutes to put it together. And I know you know how to do this, but we'll go through it. So I started out with a 4¼ inch by 11 inch card base. I used the thick basic white cardstock. It's scored at 5½ inches. And I will burnish this. I did not do that. But what you know, whenever you're scoring anything, you should give it a nice burnish with your bone folder. You get a nice fold that way. And then I used a berry burst card layer, and I used a piece of the Unbounded Beauty Designer Series paper. So we're going to go ahead and put the layers together real quick. Okay, and I always start with the top layer and kind of work my way down. So we'll get this pattern paper layer onto the Berry Burst cardstock layer. And that's the beauty of liquid glue, right? Get it nice and straight on there. There we go. Okay, and then we're going to attach this layer, the cardstock and the Designer Series paper layer, to the front of the card base. And that's nice and straight. Okay, and then we have, I used one of the deckled edge circle dies. This die measures about 2 3/4 inches in diameter. So if you have a punch that you want to use, if you want to put a rectangle on here, you have all of the dimensions for this on the PDF. So you can create lots of different cards with it. So first we're going to go ahead and stamp the sentiment. Now in your kits, I know you know I cannot include stamped images. So I decided to make this, the sample card is, the sentiment is hello, just a generic kind of thinking of you card. But I do need some thank you cards. So I decided to make this one a thank you card. So what I'm going to do is stamp. Keep in mind that we have a die cut that has to go on here. So I'm going to, and when you choose your stamp, keep that in mind. So I chose something that was a little smaller, and I'm just going to bring it over to the right side of the circle, around, it's about the center right of the circle, and stamp the thank you on that. Okay. And then we're going to attach the Berry Burst die cut. And this is from the Unbounded, Flowers of Beauty dies. And where is, I have my fine tip glue applicator here. I like to use that on this sort of thing. Okay, all I'm doing is just putting the glue on the wider portions of the die cut, if you can see what I'm doing. The smaller portions, I'm kind of brushing it on, but we're not going to put too much of this top portion up here because that's going to go off of the circle. So then we're going to put the die cut element. Remember, we have to get the little bow on here. So I think that's a good placement for it with the thank you being straight. It's always nice to stamp on a circle because if for some reason your stamp is a little bit crooked, you can always turn the circle and make it straight. Keep that in mind too. That's a little hint. A circle is a good layer for a sentiment. Okay, and then we have the bow, which is also die cut. And this is die cut from the In Bloom, which is, oh gosh, it's quite a few years old. In Bloom dies, and this bow, I always loved it. So I'm using that. You can use baker's twine, whatever you have. Or if you have another bow that you could die cut, you can use that as well. And just putting it down on the bottom of the Berry Burst die cut here. And then I'm putting this on with a couple of dimensionals. And I know I took them out here. It's okay. And then this goes right in the center of the card front. See? Quick, easy. But with this pattern paper and these elements, oh boy, it looks like a million, doesn't it? Such a pretty color combination. Now you also have in your kit your little strip for the inside of your card that you want to put across the bottom. So we'll do that. So you get a nice even trim. We have a little embellishment that these are the 2024-2026 in color resin dots, which they are so pretty. I love them. And I use the Summer Splash, I believe. Actually, we can use one of the Petunia Pop because every color is in here. We can even use the yellow, the, what is that, Peach Pie. Let's see, let's do that here. Yeah, that gives it a little pop. In the kits, I have the Summer Splash. So, just thought I'd do something a little different. So, there's the card. And we'll get started on card number 2. A front flap funk fold. I didn't know what else to call it. I have seen it over and over again on Pinterest and with all kinds of elements and designer series paper. And we're going to do the card base. In your kits, it's already pre-cut. I will tell you what I did. So I cut the card base 5.5 across, 11 inches in length. It's the full length of cardstock, and it's 5.5 inches. Okay. Berry Burst cardstock. Berry Burst cardstock, and we're going to cut it at 5.5 inches. Okay, and then we are going to score it at 2.5 inches. And we're going to bring our arm out and score it again at 6 3/4 inches. Okay. Now, we have 2 score lines here. So what I want to show you, while I still have the paper trimmer here, we're going to fold this score line in, the larger one, right? And we are going to burnish. and then fold the other score line in toward the center and burnish. Okay, now when you take this, fold it in here and take this, see how it buckles? So what we're going to do is on this larger end, we are going to, not the short side of the score line, not the side that's scored at the 2.5, this larger portion. We're going to put it in the paper trimmer, and the cutting track is right here. On either side of the cutting track, there's a small black line, which is part of the cutting track. So I'm just going to bring it over to the edge of that line, and I'm going to trim it off. And it's just a smidgen, not a lot at all. And then that will make the fold much nicer for you, okay? Okay. Now, we're going to take our pencil and our ruler, and we're going to, from the score line, okay, on this, from the 2.5-inch score line, okay, this is what's on the right side. And that's the score line we're going to measure from. We're going to go in, place the ruler right on the score line. I just have to bring it closer to me so I can see where I'm at here. And we are going to make a pencil mark, a small pencil mark at 1 inch. Okay. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a little pencil mark there. Now we're going to take our paper trimmer. In the track, we're going to line up that 1 inch pencil mark that we made, and line up, make sure that that's in the cutting track, and make sure that the corner of the cardstock, the bottom corner of the cardstock, is in the track, is in the center of the cutting track. The pencil mark is in the center of the cutting track, and we're just going to cut. And that's the front of the card. So the card base is completed, okay? Now we're going to put some layers in, and then we're going to come back to the to the trimmer. Okay, so the first layer we're going to put in is this is the outside layer or the writing? This is the outside layer. This is the writing layer. So you have 2 basic white layers in the card kit. And the writing layer, again, if you want to put your little strip across the bottom, you can. And I don't know, I'll use a cardstock strip. And from the back, which is what I always say. So trim your little cardstock strip from the back. Okay. Okay, now this is ready to go in. That goes in the center of the inside of the card base. If you can see where I'm putting it. Okay, that's good. Nice, folds nice. See, you took that little smidgen off this side, and it really folds nicely. Okay, now we're going to get the front pattern, the front layer on. So I do have a matte layer here, basic white. It's in your kit. And then you have another pattern paper layer that is also in the kit that will go on the front. So we'll get that on. And then the pattern paper layer. This pattern paper is beautiful, by the way. Really is pretty. And everything is cut for you. Now it looks like it's going on the back. It is on, but it's going to flip over to the front. So on the back of the card base, you have it, the front pattern paper panel and the matte layer on this on the left. And then on the inside of the card base, you have the writing layer on the center. But this folds over, and then it goes like that. So that's how that works out. I should get this over a little more. There we go. Okay. Now, just want to take a measurement here, what I did. I forget what I did on, you know, each one. We'll do the basic white first. That's 7/8 of an inch, and that's the quarter. Okay, so on the basic white layer that goes on the front panel here, this is, we're going to make a pencil mark just the way we did on the cardstock. And the pencil mark is going to be at 7/8 of an inch from the left side of this panel, okay? So we're going to put that up there. And we're going to go to 7/8 of an inch, which is right here. Okay, and then on the pattern paper layer, we're going to do the same thing from the left side of this panel. We're going to go down, we're going to make a pencil mark at 3/4 of an inch. So now we're going to bring back the paper trimmer. We're going to do the same thing we did on the front panel. We have the pencil mark here on the white layer, which is 7/8 of an inch. And I did this because I use matte layers. You don't have to do this. You could just go with the other layer, the pattern paper layer. So 7/8 of an inch, the corner of the white cardstock is in the cutting track. The 7/8 of an inch mark is in the cutting track. So we're just going to go ahead and make the cut. Okay. And then this will set on the card front like this. Pretty, right? Okay. And then we're going to do the same thing with the pattern paper. The pencil mark is at 3/4 of an inch. So we're going to line up the pencil mark in the cutting track and then just slide the bottom corner. There we go, line it up. Slide the bottom corner over into the cutting track. And we're going to cut. So this piece is going to layer on this piece. Like that. And we're going to get that together. It is easy. Once you get the hang of it, it's very easy. This is a simple design. It's a cute little fun fold, though, and you could do a lot with it. It does use a little more cardstock than the norm because your base is 5.5 inches. But you use that large scrap, you know, nothing goes to waste. Okay, so that's the layer. The matte layer is the white, and then the pattern paper layer, and that's just going to set right on the front of the panel that we cut, okay? And as I say, all of the measurements will be in the PDF that you'll receive. Okay, I'm just going to set this in place. Oh, this little one. Are finished. Don't forget to erase your pencil mark. Actually, you can't. I didn't do too bad of a job here. You can't really notice them. Okay. Now we're going to work on the element cluster. Okay. And again, I used one of the stitch, not the stitch circle. I missed those stitch circles. The deckled edge circle dies. If the diameter on this was about 2 and 3/4 inches, I believe. Anyway, it's on the PDF. So I overstamped that a little bit, but it's okay. Looks good. Okay, now we're ready to put the elements on this little circle. Actually, the circle is called a grounding layer, and usually in design, they call it that because you're grounding the elements to whatever design you have, and that's what this is. I just noticed another little, you know, when you're die cutting so many of these, you think you got them all, So if you notice any in your kit that I missed, just give them a little punch out. Okay. And same thing. I'm concentrating in the center of the element, more in the center. Okay, not on the edges. And just placing, brushing the glue lightly on the areas that are a little thinner. The areas that are a little wider, I'm putting maybe a line of glue. Okay, so it's very light on the glue. And then we're going to place this. Keep in mind we have the thank you sentiment. We don't want to cover that. And we also have a bow that's going to go on here. A little die cut ribbon bow. So we have to make a little room for that. But I think that's good. Okay. And I think I mentioned it before. When you're using a circle, if you stamp a little crooked, you can just turn the circle. Okay, and here's the bow die cut. And that is... This is Berry Burst. This is Summer Splash. I love this Summer Splash new in color. It's real pretty. And we're going to I put just a dot of glue in the center of the knot of the bow on the back. And we'll get that there. Let's hold it for a minute. Okay, that's on. And then we have the little dot. And I think in the kits, I believe I used the Summer Splash dot on... This one, I think I'm going to probably use Petunia Pop. I can use on this. But we have to get this on the front. Now, what I'm going to do, if you put your card this way with your layers, we only are going to put glue on the back of the left side of the circle, okay? Because we don't want it to... go over this piece and stick to the front of the card. So I did this with glue, and I'm just going to kind of keep the glue behind the Berry Burst. See, it's only on this section of the circle. And we'll put it just, I would say about in the center. Making sure that thank you is straight, right? So this side of the back, the right side of the back of the circle, has no glue. This side, the right side. The left side of the back of the circle has the glue behind this Berry Burst die cut. Okay? And then the card is finished. We just have to put our little embellishment on it. And I think I'm going to use... one of the little Petunia Pop dots. These are the same resin dots, the 2024 to 2026 in color resin dots. And on this one, I can even do a pretty in pink, but I'm going to go with the Petunia Pop on this. And just a little color balance. Oh, I see a little, see here? So just check your die cuts. I really tried to get all of them out. Okay, let's see. We'll put this up here. There we go. So that is it. Both cards, quick and easy. This one takes a little bit of concentration with the cutting of the card base and the layers. But once you do one, you'll get the hang of it and it'll be fine. You also have the envelopes in each of your kits, and with the pattern paper, here's one with the pattern paper layer for the back, if you choose to do that. If not, you can use it for another card if you like. So please reach out to me if you have any questions at all. And it is simple, quick, and easy. All of the dimensions are in your PDF tutorial. And I hope you enjoyed this. And always remember to express your creativity. And the only limitation is your imagination. Have a wonderful day. And